One of the ways to have a healthy child is to immunize them against various illnesses, such as protection against diphtheria, tetanus, whooping cough, polio, and 2 different types of meningitis as well.
It's very difficult when you first take your baby along for immunisations. I don't think any parent really likes doing that. But it's important to remember that it is the best thing that you can do for your baby to help to protect them against a wide range of potentially dangerous infectious diseases. Immunisations work by introducing a small dose of the disease to your baby. That allows your baby's immune system to get ready and recognise that disease so that if it ever meets the infection later in life, it's ready to fight against the disease and protect your baby. So it's quite common for your baby to have a low-grade fever up to about 38 degrees in the period following their immunisations. We often recommend that babies can have a small dose of Calpol, paracetamol, following their immunisations in order to keep the temperature down and help the baby feel comfortable.
Be aware that 7 to 10 days following their injections, babies and little children may develop a low-level rash and sometimes go off their food for up to 3 days. This is normal, but if it's more than mild, or if you're worried, go and see your doctor.
There's been a lot of concern over the last few years, particularly around the MMR vaccination, and that's led to fewer people taking their children along to have them immunised. But there are complications to that. In the last few years, we've seen a few outbreaks of measles, and I've seen a child with measles in our local hospital who was actually very sick indeed. So these conditions are potentially quite serious and can have long-term complications for your baby's health.
Another's fully immunised. From birth, we just went through the whole list, and I think she's fully up to date. She's dealt with them really well, particularly when she was newborn. She just didn't even seem to notice. It was pretty good. Even the midwives were quite shocked that she didn't cry. But it gets harder when she gets older, when she understands what's going on. More for the ones where it's in either leg. The first leg she's not so fussed about. She's a bit like, oh, what just happened? But the second leg, she's like, oh, I can't believe you did that again, and she starts to cry.
It was horrible the first time because you're inflicting pain on this tiny little thing. A friend of mine said that she actually got the nurse to do it, and then she picked her daughter up afterwards, so she never related the actual pain to being in the arms of her mother, but I think that's maybe a bit of overreacting. And actually she was fine. She didn't react in any way. There were no flu symptoms. We were very lucky. She was a bit crotchety, but she didn't get fever, nothing like that, so it was all fine.
She's had all her immunisations up to this point, and she's been absolutely fine. She cried, obviously, initially, but straight afterwards she calmed down and no side effects whatsoever. So, but just kept an eye on her, as they said, for the next sort of, 24 hours, and she was fine, absolutely fine. Hey.